Yes.
So please welcome my guest today, which is the amazing Dark Arnold Butler. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my pleasure. My name is Felicia. I'm also known as Dark Carnival Butler on social media. I've been a cosplayer since 2011. I've been competing in cosplay competition since 2012, and I've also had the chance to be a cosplay judge for competitions starting in 2015. And yes, I'm still competing today till to this day.
Yeah. I believe that you did win an award at NajiCon. Was it last weekend or the weekend before?
It was last weekend. Yes, there was the Nadeshikon in Quebec City.
Yeah.
I won Best Master, both craftsmanship and presentation at the last masquerade this year.
Congratulations with the costume in the back. It looks gorgeous. I had the opportunity to see this up close. It looks so good. I want to
Very
eat it.
close.
Very, very close. Yes. I'm going to get right into our questions. The first question that I have for you today is how has competing and judging internationally shaped you and your perspective on cosplay as an art form?
First of all, I would say what uh, how it somehow changed my perspective in a sense that I felt like uh, we we have so much to learn from one another, both locally, nationally, and internationally. For me, the cosplay is like an art form based on the sharing the sharing of passion, sharing of knowledge. It's a big sharing of like inspiration. We get inspired by so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of anyone that would say that has not been
I'm streaming.
inspired by as I cannot see like any cosplayers that has not been in some way, shape, or form inspired by another artist, another cosplayer in a way. For me, like cosplay is like a common masterpiece. We are
Mm-hmm.
all like artists in a big, like a big play, but we all like add our own grain of salt into it, and for me also it's like it's an art form that has no limits. We can always go do more, we can always go further and do better and innovate in so many ways, and we never have seen anything like in this field. Like there can always be more, and we can always be more creative with it. And I would say, based on my experience, for example, in the World Cosplay Summit and my judging experience, uh, it always like brings me so much like inspiration, like to see the work of others and to see perspective that I had never like suspected before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a long answer,
No,
but
no, it's a
that's
great answer. I prefer the long answers. You give a lot of details.
yeah.
Before I go on to the next question, I have realized that I have not changed the background to this on the stream. So, if you would give me 2 seconds to change the background before I go into the next question, I'm so sorry about this.
No problem at all.
Thank you. So, the second, more formal question now that we're back into the
Yep.
groove is what has been your most memorable experience in a competition? This can either be judging a competition, participating in a competition, staffing it, just in a competition in general.
Uh, of course, I always say the same thing. World Cosplay Summit, even if it was like 10 years ago, has been one of the my biggest and most memorable experience ever. Competing there with all the other countries and with my current friend and last year partner at WCS, Nienia Surian.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience that I still cannot describe how much it was like a game changer and a life changing experience for me. And as for the judging experience, I would say last year not last year, in 2024 actually, when I judged the Canadian preliminaries for World Cosplay Summit. Um, I would say it was a memorable experience for me because we had the most amount of team that we ever had for the Canadian qualifications. We had 14 teams on a possibility of 15, and it was like uh, a record.
Yeah.
Basically, we had never had that much. That many teams competing, and to see all of that and like the progress that the Canadian preliminaries had made on that level, it was very impressive and so beautiful to see. So that's something that I will never forget, and also um, because of how difficult
Of
it was
course.
to judge that
I
year.
know World Cosplay Summit already is very hard to judge because you're looking at so many different factors. It's the biggest competition in the world. And then you add, there's 15 teams, so that's 30 people to judge. That's a
Yes,
lot.
yes, that's 30 costumes basically.
Not including judging the stage performances, judging. I
Yeah,
know they do a little
and so
interview as well.
and sometimes they have two costumes because
Oh,
costume
yeah.
changes. So sometimes you can judge more than 30 costumes.
Everyone loves a good, like, pull on the sleeve and then it's another costume entirely.
Yep.
But to be fair, as an audience member, I love watching those. I love a good scene change. Um, so, what advice would you give to a cosplayer who's aiming to compete and succeed on the stage? On the stage, I'm more specifically asking when it comes to like skit performances.
um First of all, if you're aiming to compete, my basic advice would be just do it.
Yep.
if
Yep.
you if you if you know that you want to compete, just do it. That's my number one advice. Second of all, it's a good thing to aim to compete. Like, that's great. Aiming to succeed, I would say first of all, do not forget to have fun. I know we are entering in the section of my advice that is like, do as I say and not what I do
Yeah.
kind of advice. because because yeah, it can be pretty easy to get carried away with like the willing to succeed on the cosplay competition stage. But I would say, like, don't forget to have fun, and uh, don't forget the main reason why you cosplay. Like, don't lose track of why you are cosplaying. And also, like I said, so success is great, but
Hmm.
you can easily get carried away with it. um After that, more specifically, it's gonna be very general in that area. Let's just face it, it's a competition.
Of
So
course.
there are we can not all be winners. So there will be like winners, and there will be, I don't like the word, but there will be losers. It is a lot of work, we're not gonna lie. um Even if you have fun with it, it is still hard work. uh After that, I would say, don't hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah.
Like, ask for help to your friends. Go to panels. If you know that some cosplayers are open to like give advice, don't hesitate like to maybe contact them if you have some questions or like some insecurities, or if you need basic advice for competing or even craftsmanship in stage. Um, uh, yeah, there was a second part. Oh wait, oh yes. For the presentation for the skit part, um, that can be a lot of hard work as well, but it can also be really fun. I always say the stage part, to me at least, is is the 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 funniest part.
Yeah.
It's the part that you really can um like I don't know how to say it, but like, have fun with with your craft, and have fun with your character. Like, portray them in a way that you want, and very like um demonstrate how much you like the source, the character, and be creative with the story and everything.
I think
And
competition. Oh,
oh no, go ahead.
I was saying, I think competitions that allow skits really push the play part of cosplay. Cause I've been on stage with you. You look like you're having a ball. Anytime I have to do like a masquerade, I have such a fun time. Like you spend all your time crafting,
Hmm.
behind a sewing machine, behind a 3D printer, working your fingernails off, and then finally you can do a big spin on stage. Like
Yep.
you can jump
Yeah.
around.
It's like all the whole process, the whole blood, sweat, and tears. That's the hardest part. Like the stage part is supposed to be like the fun part, and and it can be really like liberating in a way because you're like, finally I'm here. This is the last. This is the final countdown, as you say, and
Yes.
I'm giving it my all, and after that it's gonna be done. I'm gonna be so proud of myself, and I would say the big success in the end when you to go back to like how aiming to succeed, I would say like the biggest success that you can get is like the satisfaction and pride and in what you will and in the satisfaction you will find in your work and your achievement, your personal achievement. That's the biggest success that you can have if you are proud of what you've done, and that you don't have any regrets in the end. That's pretty much like the biggest success that you can have.
I love that. Back onto the note of international costume competitions, what sets an international cosplay competition, an international masquerade, apart from the local ones or the national ones? So something small like a local 4,000 person con versus a 14,000 person con versus, I'm traveling to another country to compete.
Um, I'm gonna state I'm gonna state the obvious. The stakes are usually pretty higher, I
Yeah.
would say. Sometimes like the number of entrants is gonna be limited when it comes to like international competition. Um, I mean, for some convention that are not convention, but some events that can be like bigger. Sometimes like the competition is gonna be bigger as well, but the number of entrants is gonna be more limited. There's gonna be like a process of selection. Sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, especially international competition. Um, when it comes also, what is it? Sometimes like number is limited, and not everyone can enter, and the judging criteria are sometimes more strict and more complex. Like internationally, you're competing um, against or with the best in the world. So of
Yes.
course, like the criteria are gonna be, and the expectations are gonna be higher in that sense. And also, compared to like local or national, the preparation process is gonna be way longer and more complicated. Which I mean, not only for the making of the costume and the preparation of the skits, but also all the behind the scenes stuff that the organization have to make, like submit your sound, submit if you need like a video background, the submission of that, like the different like deadlines compared to for example masquerades in Quebec, in Canada, or you're pretty much most of the time you can pretty much like arrive like the week before with your audio, send it,
Yeah.
or even some events can admit like some audio on the same weekend. So sometimes it's not um um I mean the preparation can be like in advance, but sometimes some events it's like months in advance.
Hmm.
That's what I would say. uh, but overall, um it's pretty much yeah, that's pretty much what I
Yeah.
wanted to say.
You did mention judging criteria when Excuse me, I need to sneeze. You did mention judging criteria within international competitions versus like local, let's say Canadian competitions. Can you
Hmm.
describe a little bit of that difference and how Canadian competitions criteria differ from something like a World Cosplay Summit prelim?
Um,
Sorry, that was a lot of word jumbo. If you
yeah,
need
yeah,
me to
yeah. Can
repeat.
you just rephrase that? I'm gonna pay extra attention.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
of course.
I just
How
got lost a little bit.
Don't worry. How
Yeah.
does judging criteria differ between a Canadian competition compared to an international competition?
Okay. Basically, I can mostly speak about like in Quebec City or in Ontario.
Yes, yes.
Um, I would say when it comes to like cosplay competitions in those region like masquerade and everything compared to for example internationally or even I guess in the west of Canada, um, in masquerades you have criteria are different in a sense that in Quebec and sometimes in Ontario, you don't really have to be perfect, not perfect, but all like in craftsmanship or presentations, you can have more than just like 3 or 4 awards. And what I mean by that is that in our masquerades, you can have like a special awards like for armor. You can have a special awards for the sewing,
Mm-hmm.
wig styling. You can have like specific awards compared to like internationally or in bigger competitions or like in the West. You will pretty much have like first place, second place, third place, sometimes honorable mention, and or sometimes you can have very like general awards. My best example would be the Crown Championship in the US, where you have like the needlework category, the armor category, and the effects.
Yeah.
So you pretty much have like the global aspect of each costume. Like you need to be like the best of needlework or best of armor. You're not like just gonna be judged on one aspect. You're gonna be judged on the ensemble of your work. So it's a little bit harder to um not harder, but I would say uh it's harder to get like a specific recognition compared to like masquerades. Again, Ontario, Quebec, mostly. That's those area that I'm most familiar with. But I would say that's the biggest difference. I would say like the awards are way more limited, and in that way, it has to be the judging criteria are more like again more strict, so
Yes.
you can have like some strength in some area, but if other area are less good, let's say, it's gonna affect like your global like uh score, I would say. Sometimes, for example, if a costume, we always say like if a costume is like less complex but is done like perfectly, it's gonna be like uh, it's gonna be more impactful in a bigger competitions than a bigger costume with a lot of details, a lot of techniques, but the techniques are not like mastered as well. Even if sometimes like oh my god, this embroidery is like the best I've ever seen, but the armor pieces need a little work. So that's it compared to like uh for example in Nadeshikon, if that happened, judges could decide like to award the competitors with like best embroidery because again we have a lot more freedom in that area, so we can uh award a competitor that we find like should deserve something for their work, even if some area are not as well mastered. We can like decide, okay, we need to award them with that award because like this part was amazing and it really need recognition.
That makes a lot of sense. And also, the bigger is not always best. The most techniques are not always best. Needs to be heard by many people. Cough,
Yes,
cough, sneeze,
that
sneeze.
that's something that is often like misunderstood, that it's not because like you have the biggest costume or the flashiest costumes, or that you have 1000 techniques in it, that it means that you're guaranteed to win basically. uh yeah.
Um. Ooh, excuse me. What challenges do you notice some competitors face when transitioning from a regular walk-on competition to a performance skit-based competition?
Okay. um of course, when we for the competitions that are more like walk-ons, it's you mean like that is would be more like craftsmanship
Yeah, a
based.
craftsmanship only competition compared to a
Mm-hmm.
competition with a skit.
Yeah. So difficulties would be, I mean, for people who like have never like done, for example, a skit for competitions, it can be like difficult in a sense that you not only have to impress with your costume, but you have to be able to put this costume and like in uh interpret not interpret you you
Don't
have
worry.
to basically play the part well. Like you have to entertain both with your the look of your costume, but also with your acting skills, and that can be really difficult because I have some example that I've seen in the past in like international competition, for example. um, especially when it's competitions where which you compete on your own, it can be like uh, a little bit harder because sometimes you can see like cosplayers with like very impressive costumes like made to perfection, but sometimes you the presentation is not as strong. uh like basically for workmanship they would win like any craftsmanship contest, but
Yes.
the ability to like entertain and to like, I don't want to say like do big on stage, but to be like entertaining in a way. And I don't mean like doing some pirouettes or
No, if
running all
someone
over
can
the
do a
place.
pirouette in like a Sakizo cosplay, they should get the award immediately. Or in like a big armor build, if you're doing backflips and stuff, best in show immediately. I don't care.
Yeah, and if nothing is falling off, that's even better.
Yes,
But
that too.
and that and yeah, so and that's one thing that can be like more difficult, because when you know that for example, if you have a bigger build and you have to like put it in action in a skit, that's another stake that can be like difficult. Like you have to make sure that nothing is gonna fall off, because doing a walk on in a big complex costume with a lot of pieces can be really different than like running all over the place with it. Are you comfortable to move in it, or is all your pieces are gonna stay in the same place? It's something that has to be taken in consideration. So that can be another difficulty. And I mean, let's face it, it's not everybody that is also like comfortable doing skits.
Of
I know
course.
some people are way more comfortable with the workmanship part, but don't really like to be on stage. That happens sometimes. So they want to compete, but they are not like comfortable with skit. So the switch can be very difficult in that sense as well. Um, and if you are not like used to be on stage, not only in cosplay, but if you have never done like theater or like be on stage and don't know like the placements, how to like position yourself to have a bigger impact and to like deliver your presentation correctly, it can be also like an issue. um I don't know if that answers
No, no,
your
that answers it
question.
perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question that's not on the list, but it's a question that I personally have. Um,
Mm-hmm.
should someone who's competing take into account the costume they're wearing, depending on if it's a walk on or a skit? Like,
I mean, sometimes yes, but I would say not. Personally, it can mostly depends on if I have an idea of a skit right away with a costumes, with a costume that and that is gonna like determine if I want to like do a competition that includes only walk on and not only like skits, but for sure that can be like um factor that can say like, okay, this costume is like very impressive, but it would be more difficult to do a skit. But I would say yes and no.
mm-hmm. No, no,
Yeah,
that's so fair.
yeah, yes and no, because sometimes you can have like a big build, and some people may think, oh, it's going to be difficult to do anything with that, and some would say like, no, I totally know what I want to do with this and I think it would work. So I would say it depends on the people.
Okay.
It depends on your perspective on what you want to do with the characters. Sometimes you can say like, okay, this costume is really like, I just want to do a parade with it and like showcase it in its full glory, and not maybe like risk to
Yeah.
to do anything to it by uh, doing like anything like too extra with it.
No, no, that's
Yeah.
very fair. I dropped a prop at Anime North on the stage and it broke, and I've never been able to fix it.
Oh no.
But it's okay. How important would you say performance versus costume craftsmanship versus accuracy is in a competition that you're judging?
Oh, you mean accuracy?
Like,
Um.
it's called how important is accuracy for how the costume looks, and how important is
Mhm.
accuracy for how you portray the character on stage?
Oh, okay. Um, I would say for me and in general, what I see, it's pretty much 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I would say both part. I would say one part. I would say like the accuracy uh, can be a little bit more subjective, because sometimes accuracy for one is not really the same as accuracy for another one. Let's say, for example, a character that has certain details on it that is very like animated looking, in a sense that some animations are like really 2D. There's not a lot of texture or not a lot of details like 2D animation. Some people would say that adding like some texture, or like adding um, like choices of fabric that are not like as plain as they look uh in the source, can be like interpreted as non-accurate. But some people would say no, it's still accurate, because if it fits like the character, like if like it makes sense that if you take the character and you put it in real life, this could it could work, and it could look that way. So on that part, I would say accuracy would be pretty much like subjective. But um but accuracy in presentation, especially in like um big competition or big skit competition, international competition, at that moment, it's pretty much tiny bit more objective, because a character is what it is in the show. It has its personality, it has its demeanor, how it you cannot really change that. So that criteria is pretty much more I would say the judging needs to be a little bit more objective, a tiny bit more. But as for the importance, most of the time what I see, it's pretty much like 50-50. So you have to be both like um, accurate to the character. You have to, it pretty much like the importance of craftsmanship versus like presentations, pretty much 50-50. If the costume is well made, you have to have a presentation that is just as much well made. But like I explained, for like how much the accuracy is judged, it really can depends on either like the judges or sometimes like really like the criteria for the competitions. Like sometimes you have criteria on the judging sheet that needs to be met, but depending on the judges, you can say like sometimes some changes, not I don't want to say changes because I don't want to say like take a red dress and make it blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not what I mean. But you know, like the adding of details that are coherent with if your decision makes sense, sometimes it can be like well received to like be slightly less accurate, because especially with cartoons or anime, um, it would be a little bit plain sometimes if you could not add like some details or some um
Extra designs, extra
yeah,
pizzazz.
yeah, pizzazz, exactly, yeah.
I've seen in many competitions, like you're saying, anime and gaming characters, especially older gaming characters, where the dress was just a straight triangle square, a purple square. That especially if someone takes cultural elements and adds it to it, that makes sense. Or if someone takes, if the character loves sweets, they add a sweet thing to their cosplay. It does make sense.
Yep. Exactly. Like to go beyond like the design, like trying to include like the story, the background, like the source in general, like, and like you said, like historical inspiration, like inspiration. That that also makes sense in a way that that's the fun part, that it makes like every costume like different. It is and not like all the same. Because if we all had to be like exactly like accurate, we would all look the same, and there will be no like
Cosplay would be boring. Very
exactly,
boring.
exactly.
I want to see some cosplays with sparkles, and I want to see the armor builds that add extra color. Cosplay's supposed to be fun. My next question is, because you've been judging competitions you started in 2015, so it'd be now 11 years. I'm hoping I can get my math right on that. I was terrible at math in school, so if I'm wrong, that's on me.
Yeah, it's gonna almost 11 years. Yes.
What trends and innovations have you seen throughout the years? These could be like the popularity of certain characters and fandoms, the popularity of certain techniques. What have you seen change?
Oh my god, a lot. And I'm gonna sound really old.
Okay.
I promise I'm not. But I can remember not when I started, but when I was more hardcore into masquerade and cosplay contest and competition. I would say around, I'm gonna say 2013. The first one I remember was the addition of LEDs in costume.
Oh.
That was like that was like the first big trend that I noticed. Like there was like a belief that said that if you had like LEDs in your costume, you had more chance to win.
If I said I hear that people are still dealing with this now, especially with a rise of like social media. So you see the cosplay that lights up online, you're like, oh, that has to win. You know, they added a strip of LEDs. That has to win, no matter what.
Yeah, but I would say I have not like witnessed like the birth of that trend, but I would say like when I began, that was a big belief. After that, yeah, I'm gonna sound old on this, but the arrival of Warbler and good quality EVA foam for costume, especially the arrival of Warbler. Back then, it was so difficult to get your hands on some. Like some websites or some shops had like more of um it was less easy to get your hands on that, and it was like the new the new gold material of cosplayers. Like it was, everyone wanted to use that for anything, for armor, for whatever. Like the it was the big trend back then. After that, if I'm looking more in the skit and presentation, I would say, especially for World Cosplay Summit, and that's pretty much when I started to witness it a lot. It was like the famous hand streamers.
Oh
You
my
know, the
goodness.
yeah, the big streamers that you can like throw, but they are all long strays of streamers to do like either magic or blood or whatever. I would say I remember watching the World Cosplay Summit finale. I think either 2014 or 2015, and I would say there were those streamers all over the place. It was like so trendy, and I would say it's still popular today. Maybe not as much, but that was a trend that I saw like emerge. And another one, we talked about that earlier, like the costume changes in the
Yes.
World Cosplay Summit at some point, around my time, or a little bit before that. It was almost not, I don't want to say unwritten rules, but there were like costume changes, like I would say, three-quarters of the skits included like costume changes, and it was almost a belief that you had to have like a costume change for the World Cosplay Summit. That was a big trend back then. And if I would say more recent, of course, the 3D modeling,
Yes.
3D printing is pretty high right now. Even the evolution of wig styling. Now we have like the
Helmet
famous like
wigs.
helmet wigs that are making like that taking the world of cosplay by storm right now. And oh, also for judging, I would say a big, not big, but a trend that is more getting more and more popular nowadays is famous bill books for
Yes.
competitions and judging competitions. So it's something that is more and more encouraged. When I started, it was almost inexistent. I would say they asked for a reference photo, and that's pretty much it. But today, it is more and more encouraged to bring or to make a build book for, especially for cosplay competitions. So I would say that's one of the trend that I noticed.
If
And
you
yeah,
plan on participating, for people in chat, if you plan on participating, I know judges love a good build book.
yep,
Please make a good build book for them.
yep, and especially for like big qualifications or international competition, World Cosplay Summit and NCC, for example. This is not an option. It is pretty much it is pretty much mandatory to have one.
That sounded
Uh,
like a threat. A little bit. You're
I mean, it's not me. It's the organizer. They asked for it.
um
Uh,
there's a comment from, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but Nina Surgeon, who says it depends on the competition. A bigger competition wants build books and a smaller local con not as much. And
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say it's not like it depends on like she said, it depends on the competitions. But I would say uh
Also, I feel like I pronounced that name very anglophone. I'm very sorry.
it's Niena Suryan. It was actually my teammates for World Cosplay Summit.
I'm sorry. I'm so
Hi
English. I'm so
Niena.
sorry. Okay. For the next question, This is a little bit of a strange question, but how do cultural differences influence cosplay presentation and judging? So, you've been in World Cosplay Summit, so you've interacted with cosplayers from all over the globe. Do you notice those cultural differences when it comes to how people present their cosplays?
Oh, absolutely. Um, Especially like for mostly for presentation. Um, I would say depending on where you're coming from, sometimes you have a style of presentation that is not that is not really like more popular, but is really like in line with some of the team's culture. For
Mm-hmm.
example, big example, some country that are really um, that it's pretty much in their culture to do like martial arts. That martial arts are really like a big thing in those countries.
Yes.
You can maybe not always, but you are most likely to see like skits with some big fight and like really really good fights, like almost like professional movie performance, like that includes like martial arts and fights. And I don't want to generalize, but depending on like the countries, you can have like different style of dance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like for dance skits you can have like skits that are more focused on like traditional dance, or like even some style of theater. For example, I cannot remember which country it was, but sometimes you had some puppetry,
Ooh.
or like shadow work. That's that's something that is really really fascinating to see. And and I would say yeah, definitely, sometimes like depending on the country you can have different like style of skit of presentation, and like way to interpret a story and to tell a story that very very like differs from a culture, to another, I would say.
I feel like that wasn't really generalization because World Cosplay Summit is not only like a celebration of cosplay, but it's a celebration of cosplay all over the world, right?
Yeah.
So, people want to show off their culture within their skits because you're presenting it on the
Mm-hmm.
global stage. Similar to
Yeah.
like how the Olympics, how they have the opening ceremony where you show off your culture during the ceremony. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like what World
Yeah.
Cosplay Summit does. And that's what I love about World
Yes.
Cosplay Summit. Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out Japan,
Yes.
for real.
Yes, and that's something that I remember back when we went to Japan. They they didn't like uh ask for it absolutely, but they were encouraging people to because you probably watched the World Cosplay Summit before. It
Mm-hmm.
is mostly like skit in either Japanese or English, but they were really encouraging people to present their skit in their native language, which is not something that is really I have not really seen it done as much as I probably would like to, but they were encouraging it before, because like you said, it's like a celebration of cosplay all around the world. And and anyway, all the skits are required to like have like subtitles on the screen behind them,
Yeah.
so that's a way that anyone can understand even if you don't speak the language that is portrayed. So they were encouraging it. Not everyone does it. Some people still prefers to use English and Japanese. um I would say that's very very impressive, like that people are deciding to basically switch from their native language to Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
to like suit like the Japanese stage and like present their skit like that. So I would say that's that's really impressive, and that's something I like to see. But I feel like it would be really interesting. It really like every country is like would be comfortable to present their skit in their native language. I feel like it would be so beautiful.
So, which Canadian team is going to do it in Quebecois French next year?
Oh my
Like,
god.
we got to
I'd
start the
pay
trend.
I'd
Sailor
pay
Moon in
to
French. I want to see it.
Whoa, wait a second. I would probably know the team that would do that if they went.
We have another comment. It
Mm-hmm.
reads, culture is also in the language. Different presentation styles between French and English Canadian is also different, which is very, very true.
Yeah, very, very true. Um, yeah, absolutely. Because like Canada is such a huge country with a
Yup.
lot of culture, and like
Yup.
the French Canadian culture and the general Canadian culture is really not the same. So we can have like a huge melting pot of style in that sense as well. So yeah, that's totally true.
The next question is, what does what? Oh, that is not what I wrote down. Let me say that again. What makes a competitor truly stand out among the best? Blah, blah, blah. What makes a competitor truly stand out among the rest of the competition?
Um, Craftsmanship wise, I always say the base of the base is finishing,
Mm-hmm.
clean finishing, clean finishing. If your craft is like clean, if it is like well finished, well polished. I don't want to say this like too much because sometimes you can have something that is distressed or like damaged looking, weathered, heavily weathered. But I would say, uh, when that happens, I always say like you want to make it messy, but you need it to be a controlled mess because you want it to look like it's gonna fall apart, but not actually fall apart.
Of course, of course.
So, and for me, it's also included in the finishing because you need to like your finishing is like messy, but you need to be a good messy.
You have to be
I don't know
intentional
how.
about it.
Yeah, exactly. And stand out. I would say for presentation, for craftsmanship, I'm mostly gonna stay on like the finishing because for me that's the base. For everything else, I cannot say like you have to be flashy, you have to be do it. Of course, it's interesting to have a lot of techniques, but as I said earlier, you have to master all of those techniques almost to the T if you want to like achieve like that little check box for presentation. um Again, really subjective. I would say to be creative, captivate the audience, like make sure that your skit is like easy to understand or anyone uh as you have to make sure that your skit can be understood by both people who know the source like the back of their hands just a little bit or not at all. Like that's one thing that is really important is we need to understand what is going on in your skit. You have to be like, I would say, precise in that way. Like and yeah, sometimes I would say if you're comfortable with it, like think outside the box, try to do something that has not been seen before. Like get inspiration, ask like for your friend's opinion or like feedbacks for from people that you know and also from people you may not know. um and yeah, a lot of practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially a lot of practice
Trust me, me
when
and
you
you know
can.
about practice.
Yeah. When you can. Of course sometimes it's difficult because like you are like long distance or sometimes you met the person like the day before.
Yeah. We wouldn't know anything about that though. No, not at all.
No, not at all. But yeah. If you're able to like a good practice, practice in front of people, take advice, take feedbacks beforehand. Yeah, be have fun with it.
Of
God
course.
damn it.
Quick question for you. Who is Team Pasquette? It's a comment in chat, and I'm like, yeah, the French Sailor Moon. I don't know who this is.
Actually, it's pronounced Team Pasque.
Basque.
It's I would say in English it would be Team Just Cuz.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a team from Montreal, from I think yeah from Montreal that is really well known among like people of Quebec, and they are doing like the silliest projects, silliest kits, and they are so freaking funny. And every year people are like waiting for them. You can basically I would say this is the team that I've seen that is having the most fun doing World Cosplay Summit, and it is like through and through like fun, and it's so entertaining. And I that's the team I say they would definitely
Okay, because Chad
do
agrees
a
with
skit.
you.
Yeah,
They
they
agree.
would definitely do a skit in Quebec French if they went to World Cosplay Summit. I can guarantee it. And I would live for it.
Me too.
I would pay for this.
Another comment from your partner is, what does a cosplayer need to stand out? I agree with the clean finishes overall, with many techniques and presentation. Great storytelling that works for everyone, even for the people who don't know the source material. Which, agree with your point, you know.
Yep.
I'm glad to
Exactly.
know that, like, a lot of judges do say the same thing. You know, I'm happy that a lot of judges are on the same point. Actually, I don't know if you're a judge. I'm sorry for assuming. I don't know if they've judged before.
Yeah, she's a judge and a masquerade director.
Oh, that's, okay, perfect.
She's the director of Nadeshikon Masquerade.
Oh. Tea. Tea's like good. It's good.
Yeah. She's been around for even longer than me.
Hey. My next question to you, as someone who's helped select the team for World Cosplay Summit Canada, what qualities do you look for in a competitor when all the work is absolutely impeccable? Like everyone has clean finishes. What small details really stand out?
For me, personally, if you like take like craftsmanship aside, like everyone, let's say everyone is like have done their job, it's like incredible, and we don't know what to pick. Personally, it's it gets like to the presentation, and I'm I'm like a hawk when it comes to judging presentation, especially World Cosplay Summit. I'm like taking in everything and every detail. Like I'm not watching, I am watching, okay?
You should be scared.
And
You should be
and-
scared.
no, not at all. Not be scared, but I would say I pay attention.
Yeah.
I would say that. Let's just say that it's less scary. I pay attention. Like I watch like if I understand like the skits correctly, I pay attention to like the acting. I like the entertainment value, like some tricks that can be made, and sometimes what can be like interesting, it's very interesting to me also is like when I don't know a certain source, but the team has gotten me invested in the story.
That.
That's a big plus for me because it happens quite a lot. I'm not I'm not the most knowledgeable in like everything and anything. There's a lot of things that I don't know, but I like to I like a good story. Like tell me your story, deliver it well, keep me like paying attention, even if I'm already paying attention. But I like to like pick every detail because to me that's my one of my favorite thing about cosplay is like performance. I like to build performances. I like to give some advice when I can on like skit ideas. I love to see what people create with that, and like that's something that I'm really invested. So
You can keep
and
people invested by throwing your head off the stage if you're ever wanting to take her advice. That really takes
and
people out of their seat.
And so, and also it doesn't matter if like if your skit is like dramatic, like a lot of action, if it's like funny. I I need to. There's always also like this special like spark that you can sense. You almost have to like be in the judge's shoes to like perceive it sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes. There's also like this sparks that make it like a bit better, I
Mm.
would say, not objectively, but not like subjective. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's like everyone can be like good, but sometimes you like this specific thing like made the whole difference. It can be like some it can be like some tricks, some acting, sometimes like the impact, emotional or any kind of impact that a certain skit has, or a certain atmosphere that it delivers, and certain emotion that it made you feel. It can be so many things,
Mhm.
but to me, if we are not like 100% like sure about like what workmanship, like what could be like better, to me that's what presentations are for. It's something that is gonna like um it's gonna make like the big difference in the decision.
Mhm. Um, again, I'm going to read the comments before I go to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Create. This is from your partner. Creativity. I'm also impressed with unconventional, but also old-fashioned ideas. And also, is your English program in your brain kind of slowing out right now? Because you've been talking in English for a full hour. I get if you want to transition back to French right now.
No, 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 I'm fine.
Okay.
it's also it's also because sometimes I have too many ideas in my head.
Oh yeah.
I and I'm like you said, I'm not as fluent in English than in French, so sometimes, but I do that in French also. So it's not an English problem. It's a brain problem. uh,
So, my next question is, how do you balance subjectivity versus ugh, now I you transferred it over to me and now I can't think. How do you balance being subjective and objective when judging at such a high level or even at a smaller level? How do you balance that?
mm, sometimes it's like you have to keep in mind that when you are a judge, you are not there to like, I don't want to say be like unsensitive, of
Mhm.
course not, because of course you need to have some sensitivity, of course, but you are
No one
basically
wants to
you are
judge who's mean.
yeah, and no, exactly, you don't want like to be mean, to be mean or to be too cold, but also you have to understand that you are there to do your you do your job.
Yeah.
It's a job basically, and it's pretty important, and a pretty important job, so you really have to take it like seriously. It's fine to have your silly moments, but the brain still has to have like the sense of duty that you're like, you need to be objective. Don't only look at like who is behind the costume, speak, because when you are in the community for so long, you're you're gonna end up knowing everybody,
Oh,
or almost
100%.
everybody, especially if you are at the master level. At some point, everyone is getting there, and everyone is like know each other, compared to like sometimes other categories that there's always new faces that comes in, so you may not know them, but in the masters, or when sometimes people that aren't competing in international competitions often, you're gonna end up like knowing pretty much all of them. So you have to be like conscient you have to be cautious about that, and like to think like, okay, I have a job to do. Maybe those are my friends, but I need to look at objectively what is in front of me, how I do it. It comes sometimes in some for some people it may come like naturally. They're like, okay, I need to like it doesn't matter if I know them. I need to watch the costume and watch what I know is going to be good enough or not good enough. Of course it's really hard. I can say that personally. I especially for example, the World Cosplay Summit, it can be really difficult because of course when you are friends with people, you know them, you know what they're capable of, but you have to almost like ignore that, and sometimes it can be like heartbreaking because of course you want your friends to succeed,
Of
like who
course.
wouldn't want that. And I have like I don't know if I yeah, I can say that. I think I can say that. For example, when I've been part of the judging team for World Cosplay Summit, I knew like one of the team a little bit more than some other team, but I knew a lot of people, but I knew one team that I had been like watching work for so long. I knew like all the works they put into their craft, and they were like very passionate about it, and I knew they wanted it so bad, and I would have wanted it so bad for them on that year. So I had again to switch my brain off. I'm like, I'm here to do my job. I'm here to like be objective and be like really like by the book on what is asked of me. And unfortunately, those people didn't win on that year. I took it really hard, of
Mm-hmm.
course, because after when the judging is done, when the decision has been made, of course, like at that moment, all the emotions comes in,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you can like crash out because you're like, I know I did my duty, but I still feel bad for some of the team, but fortunately, those two people came back last year, and they are now Team Canada 2026.
Woo! Yay!
So yeah, it can be like really hard, but like I remember like last year was like you may not have gotten it like this year, but I know you can do it.
Yes.
I know you can do it. Like push, push. I know I believe in you. It may not be like this time. I may not be like the one that is giving you this because it's also often like circumstances. You
Mm-hmm.
never know who is gonna like who is gonna compete, who is gonna do what, and what are. You can never predict. It's anyone's game pretty much every time. You can never predict what is gonna happen. So I was like, it may not be me, not this year. I may not be awarding with you with this, but you need to keep going because I know you can do this.
Yes.
And I'm so glad it paid off.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Soon you're gonna see me on the World Cosplay Summit stage. Just watch. Not in maybe 10 years, but soon. um, for the next question, can you walk me through that judging process and what it looks like choosing who takes home awards? Are the judges like beating each other up? Are you guys throwing off each other's wigs? You know, is it a wrestling match in there? What does it look like in that judging room after everyone has been judged?
For the more like masquerades or international,
Let's do masquerades, actually. Just general masquerades in like local communities.
okay. Um, to the process, I would say for masquerade, we usually because the big difference for masquerades, if you have like categories to
Mm-hmm.
go through, like usually you have like novice, journeyman, and masters. If you go more on the side of Ontario, someplace in Ontario and Quebec, you have the artisan category that is right before masters. So in that case, you have novices, journeyman, artisan, and master. So basically, we take each category and we go like from from one category to another. So we start, first of all, we can start like with the novices. So and we usually start from the biggest award, which is like best in class or best workmanship, best presentation. And most of the time we have like a score for mostly for the presentation. So we can look at the score that we have given to some participants with the presentation, and look which one had received like the biggest score for presentation. And with that score, we can either decide, okay, or do we agree that this was the strongest skits, or do we want to look maybe at the second highest score to see, finally, what do we think? Was that better, or was that better? So for presentations, we do like that. And for like workmanship, we go again by category. We all have our little notes that we take on each participant, and we can like either like point out, okay, this participant, this participant, this participant, and we like have a discussion on which one we think would be a good candidate for best novice, best journeyman, or best masters. And when it comes for best in show, at that moment is like, for presentations, we look at the best score overall, no matter the category, because of course best in show is like no matter the category. So if the one person has the highest score, for example in novice in presentation, we can consider it for best in show presentation. And sometimes if it happens that some people have had a higher score in presentation and the workmanship was good as well, we may look if there's other contender for best in show craftsmanship or best in show overall, and see, do we decide to do like a best in show craftsmanship or best in show presentation. Like we can do separate, we can separate both of them, at least in masquerades. And basically we go from there. So we narrow it down, and sometimes we when we are done with like the highest prices, we can go like by category and like look at our notes and say, for example, oh, this contestants, their embroidery was really nice, what did you think about it? I think like maybe we should give them something for that.
Yeah.
So sometimes judges can agree, so we can like give them an award for a specific thing in their build. And sometimes if maybe like the other judges are like, yeah, it was good, but I feel like it would need some work at that moment, we can like, it can be considered for like an honorable mention, which in masquerade doesn't count as a proper award to like go up in level, but is still a pat on the back to say like, this, we noticed this, it may need a little bit of work like around it, but you're on the right track for this specific elements. Or sometimes it can be presentation as well. For different like aspects of the presentation, it can be like best energy, best charisma, best storytelling, best lip sync, best dance, name it. It can be pretty much anything. And sometimes you can have a lot of fun with naming like the awards.
Oh, Anime North. I've seen some of those Anime North award names. Otakutan award names as well. I love them so much.
Yeah, and that's an aspect that is one of the difference that I didn't name earlier. But you can have fun with like the names of the awards, like for masquerade, compared to like bigger competition that are more like by the book, like
yeah. First place, second, third. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Boring. Like I get they're big and stuff, but boring.
Yeah.
Where's my grooviest award? Where's the silliest award? And my last question that's on the list, I have 2 more questions I did not tell you because I want to piss you off. But
you meanie.
I'm sorry. What distinguishes a master level competitor when they're not in the master level division? Because I know in competitions it's possible to like bump people up, right? A novice can win best master.
Mm-hmm.
How? Just how?
Pretty much, it's pretty simple. I would say it's not common in all masquerades. Yes, it can happen, but it's not something that happens all the time. And when it comes to, for example, a novice, if a novice would be like bumped in master, or um, if that happens, it's basically because uh, something that people miss to understand most of the time is that, yes, for example, in masquerade there are categories. So novices, journeyman. Okay, I'm repeating myself,
Yeah.
but basically the masters uh, in the master category are not only competing against themselves, because when you're a master, basically you are viewed as the higher level. So your stuff needs to be, quote unquote, better than the other category. That's the that's basically what is expected of you. So to think that the masters are only competing against other masters, it's not entirely true. You're basically, when you're in master, you're basically competing against the whole bunch of contestants. So when, for example, a novice come in with a build that, for any reason, is more well made or better than some or maybe most of the masters, and they're not they are like even like better than some of the other categories, at that moment you're like, okay, we need to like look into it. Do we like put them there because we believe they belong there and not in novice? um but yeah, basically if that happens, it's basically because they blew pretty much the whole competition like away. Like they did better than not only the novices but the journeyman, if there's artisan, the artisan, and would easily like fit into masters. So that is basically um according to the level of their, if their craft. It happened, I would say I've never seen it happen in presentation.
Mm.
I don't think it ever happened to be bumped on the presentation alone. Of course, you can have best in show. That's that's an obvious thing. But to be bumped in master for presentation, or higher for presentation, I've personally never seen it. I don't think so. It's mostly in craftsmanship that it happens.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically like the circumstance that would make that happen. It's rare, but it happens.
And my next question is, how do I win a cosplay competition? Because I know people ask that a lot. So how do I personally win? Or if you were to get that question, what would you answer?
There's no golden rule to win a competition. Like I said, it's most of the time based off on circumstances. So you don't have like a special recipe for that kind of success. It depends on hard work. Yes, you need to work hard. You need to work well, but you can never ever predict what the judges are gonna say or gonna think or gonna perceive your work, or what the hand like result is gonna be, because craftsmanship can be like controlled. Presentation is cannot always be controlled. Some things can always happen. You fell on your face on stage, or you fall off your high heels or whatever.
Oh,
Some things, you broke a prop. It can happen. That's something that you cannot control, and that's basically what I would say. There's no recipe for success in that stage. I know it's a boring answer, but it's the truth.
It's a good answer. It can be boring, but like, what else can you say? You know?
Yeah, you can like do. I could tell you like a list of things that you like can do or like is like highly um well like perceived like by judges. Yes, you can like check all those markings, but you can never predict what other contestants are gonna do or how well they're gonna do it. Or yeah, you cannot like predict anything. So I would say do your best.
Mm-hmm.
Like do your best. Like get as much knowledge as you can. Have fun with it. Like communicate your passion well, but the decision it's pretty much up to how do you say this the universe. The
Okay.
universe, how the universe aligned can depend on other competitors, other judges, because as I said, every judges is different. Every judge is gonna look for something differently or to some of the things differently depending on yes, preferences, experience, past experience, if they are well skilled in something. And yeah, there's too many like unpredictable factors to give like the perfect recipe for success.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always do your best and leave the rest to the universe.
I'm gonna read off a few comments because I like a lot of the comments we had. First off is to do your best and to have fun. You have to be positive, be creative, do your research, work hard, and also iron your seams. To you who said iron your seams, I always forget, so thank you for reminding me to iron the seams of the cosplay I'm working on right now. I'm scared of the iron. I burnt myself once, like 3 years ago, and I've bowed off of it.
You need to tame the beast.
I do. I do. And the next comment is the number one thing I would say is that there's no shortcut. You have to do the long work and hard work. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it may be boring work, but the work must be done. Mm-hmm. Like, I hate sanding, but you have to sand.
You have to sand, yeah, and it's that's why I talk about finishing that much, because everything you just listed or that commenters just that Niena just listed is entering is in the finishing category. Like press your seam, it's finishing. Like what was the other thing? Iron, novice, or the creative. Anyway, it's all like in the finishing category. Like it's boring, but when it's well made, it may pay off.
Yes. Also, again, I hate to watch from the comments. I hate to watch paint to wait on paint to dry. Me too. It's me and my blow dryer over the things I'm painting. It does not make it go any faster, but in my brain it does.
Oh my god! It for me it's the contact cement.
Oh,
I hate to wait for it to dry.
The fact that in the Canadian winters I have to go outside in the cold with my gloves and wait like 40 minutes to finish gluing all of my props together.
Oh, I personally don't craft like during winter. I always wait until summer because I can go outside and not freeze to death.
I should have waited. Now it's finally summer and I'm done most of my crafting. I'm like, okay, what was the point? Now I'm back to sewing. I can't sew outside. And my last question for you today, which is the one that's truly meant to piss you off, is there was an interview, not this amazing interview, but there was an interview with a very prominent cosplayer in the scene where they said that cosplay was not a part of the cosplay. I can't even say the words. I don't like them that much. They said that cosplay competitions were not a part of the cosplay community. As someone who has participated in cosplay competitions for over a decade, judged them for over a decade, and continues to do so to this day, what do you have to say about that? Please do not mention their name, though, in, like, the comments, and yourself, please don't mention their name. I'd prefer that, but we all know who we're talking about. Like, you know, it's been 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, respectfully, go F yourself. I'm sorry. both you, Muzi, and that person.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. Also, thank you for the follow, do.
Oh my god. Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying not to name, but
No, no.
boy, that was something, and I never thought I would like hear something that um I want to say not dumb, but inconsiderate, and I would say dumb because I don't want to be too specific, but that person has been in the community, I would say, since I want to say before I started or around the same time.
Yeah.
And cosplay competitions have been like almost like one of my first look into the community. Yes, I went to my first convention in 2011, but my one of my first contact with the community and the first thing I've learned about the cosplay community is that there were cosplay contests and cosplay competition. I almost entered my first cosplay contest on the first time I cosplayed in a convention. Didn't happen, but it almost happened. It was already like present. It was not as big as today, but it was at the base of a lot of things in the cosplay community. So to me, to say that cosplay competitors are not part of the community, very disrespectful,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of nonsense. Nonsense. I cannot even wrap my head around that comment. Some people are claiming rage bait, but I'm like, no. Especially if you are a big influence in that in the community, and you've been invited to events, you've been a judge
They have
for
been a
cosplay
judge.
contests. You've been a judge for cosplay contests, and to suddenly out of the blue turn around and like say, "Oh yeah, I've judged you before, but I don't consider you part of my community." Que c'est ça, câlisse? Uh, I just can't. I just can't.
To add
It's
on.
totally not true. For me, it was one of the base of the cosplay community, and where people are most of the time coming like together and like meeting for real, because to me it's like the perfect place to be in the same room or in proximity of other cosplayers, sometimes strangers, and to meet new people, because outside of that circle, which are cosplay contests, I mostly hang out with people I already know,
Yeah.
right? I hang out with my friends. I end up with sometimes people I've already seen in the past, sometimes people I've met in cosplay contests, but I mostly hang out with people that I'm familiar with. And compared to cosplay contests, that's where I meet like new people when it happens, and sometimes I can get to talk with other people and other passionate cosplayers as I am, and build like the community and what it's meant to be, the cosplay community, which is like a big club of of cringe kids.
Yes.
That's basically what we are,
The
and that's
NCC backroom.
yeah. And personally, I've no matter like the aspect of cosplay, I would have never been like comfortable stating that any part of cosplay was not part of the cosplay community. Like even like cosplay influencers, I'm like, I've never excluded anyone. Yet I've never like excluded anyone. I'm like, this is only different style of cosplaying and different way to promote cosplay in the community. No matter the way you do it, if you compete or you are doing TikToks or you're doing whatever, just like post photos and stay inside your home, you are still promoting the art form, you are still promoting your passion. That's part of the community. So yeah, that's my take on it. And yeah, the whole situation was so mind blowing and baffling to me.
100%. I had a visceral reaction when I watched it. I had to put my phone down.
Yeah, it was weird. It felt very weird. Something was wrong. I was like, something's off. There's no way this can happen. There's no
No,
way.
especially from that person, I was like, girl, ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
Eh.
Before we end off, I'm just going to read a few more comments. So the first one is, this person, referring to the person who made the comment, is just wrong. Contests are a part of the community. It feels like an influencer grudge.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where this. I don't want to say hatred, but it felt very hateful
No, yeah.
as a statement, like almost entitled. Like, you're not part of my community. Like, you are below me. You are below, like to me, like there's no below anyone. We are all different. Like, yes, on different level, but we are all different. So you cannot say, oh yeah, we are so much better than this section of the community. No, it's like it was very, like, felt really hateful and like superior. Like,
It felt like there was a division being made in cosplay.
yeah, and like almost like saying like, oh, it's the way, and then in the delivery it's like, oh yeah, you might think you are, but you're not. Like,
Ooh.
almost speaking like you had like 50 years of experience. Like, you didn't make the rules. So I was like, coming from you, no matter the influence you may have, it's pretty shitty.
The next comment is, I second what the first person said. I met a lot of people who post about their contest adventures. And that's the other thing. We have a lot of people in our space and all across the world who like post vlogs of competing in competitions, who post like their skits online. So the competition scene can overlap with like the influencer and social media scene, you know?
Yep, there's more than one way to be a cosplay influencers, and some people like do fun TikToks. Some people do like tutorials on TikToks, like share their skits or share their progress, share anything. So, yep, I totally agree. There's more than one way to be a content creator and to like be part of the community, no matter what you decide to do with it.
And the last comment of today is, contests are like the best spot to showcase your work to a large crowd that can live react to your cosplay. It's the golden way of sharing. And like, we have Anime North Masquerade, we have the Otakuthon Masquerade, where there's like 1,000 seats in that room and they're always filled up. You know?
Yep.
They're the big spotlights.
People do care. People do give a
I remember
people do give an F.
Yeah.
About that.
My first
Otherwise, there would not be anyone in the audience. Just saying.
My first Anime North, I waited outside that masquerade room like to watch the competition for 2 hours, and I was like the 100th person in line. There were people before me. So that shows like people truly and deeply do care about competitions.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That does bring us to the end of our interview. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me on here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was very, very fun time.
Thank you. If you do not, please follow Dark Arnival Butler on Instagram and YouTube. Their social media is on the screen right now. And if you're watching this as the VOD or on the YouTube video, please feel free to like and subscribe on my channel. Please feel free to follow Dark Arnival Butler. Their stuff is going to be in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for being on here with me. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
When I see you, I go nuts. Please, baby girl, let me touch on them cocoa nuts. Let me get the milk with the cocoa puffs. Feeling kinda freaky, get the go-go cups. Oh shit, we're Inspector Gadget. I don't even know, but I been done had it. Listen, from your life, I'm what's missing. So stop fronting, let me touch that kitten. Meow.